All right, I'm a little early. I'm a tad early. Hold on one second. Somebody's calling me right when I'm live. Got rid of that. Okay, let's do some intro music. I'll wait for a few people to get on in. Hold on. What do I want for intro music today? Let me see. Hmm. Hard choices. I guess we could do. Let's do. I like this one. Let's do this one. And welcome everybody to the MLH Comment Show. Good morning to everybody. Fuzzy holding down the fort, my champion. What is up, Fuster? Nice to have you here. Cricket Cinema, Freedom Nuts, Brandon. No worries, buddy. No worries. Laura of Lottie, I see your comment. I'm going to get to your comment, Lottie, because I have a little bit to say about what you posted about an hour ago. But let me go ahead and get those comments here for you all to see. What's up, Barbara Vodopest? Nice to have you here as well. One second here. All right, let's go through these comments. I've been I've been a little spicy lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've had a couple of streams and a half, you know. Let's go through these comments. Thank you all for being here. I'm sure more people will come on in. I'm sure the Fuster will welcome people in, and I'm sure as mods get in here, um, they will be greeted. You will be greeted. So thank you to my lovely mods, especially Fuzz. You've been 51% spicy. I've definitely been spicy this week, Fuzzy. You know what? I what do they say? I to gaff. I don't give a fuck. I've been in a mood lately. I'm kind of frankly tired of bullshit. But we will talk about that in a moment. And let's go through all these lovely people's comments, like Janet from Another Planet. I had a post talking about hate, and I'm sure you guys pretty know what that was in reference to. She gave me a thumbs up emoji. Thank you, Janet. Eerie Forever on my interview with the mystery guest stream said Man Bear Pig has to have a scapegoat. Worse, he takes it to the next level, and knowing people aren't bad actors makes money from false accusation. Eerie, these are things. Hold on, I was getting some fresh air in the room here. Hang on. I'm on the flight pattern apparently. Um, I agree. This is something that we've known for quite a long time. Uh, is Becky in here? What's up, Becky? Nice to have you here. HD2, welcome. Uh, be nice, Brandon. Leave Fuzz alone. Pippi, good morning. Uh, feeling better, Pippi, but I still feel a bit spicy. We're gonna get into it. With all kinds of things. We'll talk after I get done with all these lovely comments here. I agree, Airy Forever. He's an opportunist. Man Bear Pig is Man Bear Pig. He's gonna grift. I mean, we know his MO by now, and I might talk about that a little bit. Janet with another comment, replay crew this time. Thank you for being on the replay crew. Everybody that's on the replay crew, thank you so much. She also says police need to be held accountable. That's what KDOT and I have been doing for years here in Denver and Aurora and the surrounding areas, Janet, is holding corrupt police and politicians accountable for their actions. And I'm working on a special project right now that I think you all will be very proud of. Cinderelli says, murdered cold blooded, so disgusting. He was approaching that man. That man was no harm. I'm not going to go that far, Cinderelli. He was definitely in a fighting stance, but could the officer have taken out his taser instead of using his Glock, his gun? I mean, Officer Neely needs to be fired, never to be in any police force ever again. I'll have more on Officer Neely. I'm not done with him at all. He's a trainer, a teacher of cops. This is the problem that I've been exposing in the Denver metro area for a very long time. Riddle says YouTube gets not a penny from me, but your PayPal did. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Riddle. I did get your generous donation. I do appreciate that. Every little bit helps. It really, really does. Um, Carrie Ann, welcome. Nice to have you here. All right, let's continue on. Beach says what you do is awesome. Pay no attention to idiots. This was on the last comment show. I in certain cases I have to Beach. Especially when somebody threatens me, my livelihood, my family. I have to at least pay attention, especially in the political climate that we are in. Um, there's a lot of people that would love to see me in jail or deported or offed in some form, fashion, or another. Um, but I ain't going down without a fight, y'all. you, you you guys all know me by now. All right, Brian Bravo says, "What a waste of time for the frauditor," with a bunch of laughing emojis on tyrant. My tyrant officer cites officer safety for not shaking hands. All right. I do get a lot of this type of nonsense in comments, especially from nameless well, in this case, not nameless, but faceless people that act tough on the internet, the keyboard warriors. Um, I am not a frauditor, right? I actually do the work, the hard work that most people don't want to do behind the scenes, the activism work. So to call me or K Dot a frauditor is ridiculous. But thanks for the comment and thanks for watching, by the way, Brian Barbo 3452. King Bluto says, I'm sorry you were brought into this crap, MLH. The channel the app mentioned is a troll channel that puts out disgusting videos about me, stealing videos from me from a long time ago that I deleted, twisting my words around to make me out to be a criminal or does vile sexual things towards one of my family members. So you see those see those, delete them. I'm not that person. It's a troll channel. Yeah, look, King Bluto, I know, man. You've been going through it for a long time. So I don't know why people have agendas. I've never had an issue with you, King Bluto. So you never have to worry about me. I could always see through bullshit. So it is what it is. OG Pallone, what's up, buddy? Foxy Loxy, welcome. Nice to have you here as well. Just going through the comments here, Pallone. Scooter says, replay crew here. I often watch on replay, but I also often forget to comment. I appreciate the comment, Scooter. It does help. Every comment that you guys put down really helps the comment show first and foremost, but it also just helps in general. So thank you, Scooter. Appreciate that. Thank you for remembering to leave a comment. Tricky Trixie, wow, wow, wow. What a trash video on the cop. Nothing about the background, his son, or anything that the man did wrong. Wow. Disappointed, making a decision based on a 20-second video clip. This is how false information gets passed around. Here's the deal, Tricky Trixie. It's not based on a 20-second video clip. It's based on multiple video clips depicting what that cop did, right? What do you need to know? I trust me, I'm gonna have more on this as it develops. I have information that I will bring to you, um, to show you. I mean, the man didn't deserve to be executed summarily. Tricky Trixie is the whole point. And the man's name is Rajon. He didn't deserve what he got. But like I said, we'll delve into it further. This was a preliminary video, and I will go over plenty. All right. Erie Forever, when I worked at the Natural Food Co-op, my Vietnam vet friend posed the question, "What is the worst diet in the world?" I answered wrong a few times before I was corrected. No food is the answer. Thank you for that comment, Erie. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. It makes a lot of sense. OG Pallone, who's in chat, um, with some emojis. And that was from a video I did a long time of the Littleton PD and FD department. Thank you, Pallone, for commenting, buddy. I always appreciate you. You know that. Hope you're doing well. Brenda Baldoff. Sorry I missed the live, so I'm on replay crew. Thank you for being on the replay crew, Brenda. I really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Never and Nana, welcome. Nice to have you here. Anna from Canada. Lovely, Anna. Thank you for being here as well. I appreciate all of you. All right. What else do we got? Decide Act Succeed says keep missing your lives, but here for the replay crew. Thank you. I appreciate that. I always appreciate when you guys watch older videos if you miss the lives. Replay crew is extremely important to the channel. So really, really appreciate it. Keeper of the list said, I only like Bernie. MLH didn't mean to upset you. You didn't upset me, Keeper. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. But thank you for being here. Well, thank you for commenting. Janet on the replay crew. Thank you very much, Janet. Strong member of the replay crew. That was my quick morning vent session that I had with all of you a few days ago. And I am feeling a little bit better today, y'all. I'm still here. Matter of fact, I named the stream today "I'm Still Here" edition. You know, Flea Bottomist wants to push squash any rumors going around. The Flea says, "Hi friends, Flea here. I just wanted to squash some rumors. I didn't really feel like talking about this, but now it seems necessary. Many of you know I have a critically ill son and an elderly father with dementia. I'm taking care of both of them. My son has been having a very rough time and has been in and out of the hospital all summer. He originally was a candidate for brain surgery, but through extensive testing, we found out this summer his disease may be too severe to be able to do the surgery. We are currently trying other forms of treatment. It's not going well, and I have to take time off from DT to take care of my family first. It's life. It happens. But rest assured, it has nothing to do with Man Bear Pig. And you can bet your ass I will put my family before anything on YouTube. MLH has been so kind, supportive, and gracious. He had no problem switching gears on my behalf because he has a lot more to offer than just DT. Let me adjust my audio here. Hang on one second, y'all. I'm getting that scratchy shit, you know. I don't know if it's my program or my wiring. I changed wires. I don't know what the hell's going on. My mic is really new too. Could be the mic. I don't know. It's kind, supportive, and gracious. He had no problem switching gears. Not everything revolves around the girthy goblin, at least not for us. So let's cut the shit and quit making stuff up. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Flea is awesome, and she is correct. I mean, I don't like to put out people's personal business out there, but I did give you guys a primer why DT's on hiatus Flea is dealing with some medical issues with her son, which are fairly well documented, and also her dad. Dougie had some house matters to attend to. Um, I, of course, have been dealing with a lot. Behind the scenes, I've been dealing with the latest shooting here in Aurora. I had that incident where that idiot cop doxed me, which let me give you guys a quick update on that. I don't know if I mentioned this on the previous stream. I talked to the independent monitor about it, and he pissed me off. He really did. I wished I would have recorded the conversation because I would have played it for you all. But I didn't because sometimes you just have, you have to have a leap of faith and trust that people are going to do the right thing. But the independent monitor, in my view, is fucking worthless. And I'll have more on that too. That whole company is worthless. They were in LA before they came to Denver. They did work in other counties and cities and whatnot, but nothing ever happens. I think it was Joe Cool who put it astutely. Basically, consent decrees are basically pacifiers for the community to give an appearance that something is being done. But I can assure you from what I've seen that the independent monitor and his a company, I think it's called Assure. Can't remember. I have to look at my files. But they have done absolutely nothing to help anything. Um, but piss K. Dot and I off. That's all they do. You know, they just want to paint a rosy picture that they cleaned up Aurora, and it's nothing could be further from the truth. Flea is loved and going through so much. We all are. Exactly, Becky. I love Flea too. I'm glad you guys love Flea. We only like Bernie. How dare you, Becky? Um, Bernie's doing good. She's tired. She's working a lot, but it is what it is. But all right, let's continue on, and I'll talk to you guys about all that shit in a minute. Waldorf wafer said things like healthcare and basic human rights aren't inherently political. Politicians have intentionally made them political. If they can keep us divided, we're too busy fighting with each other to notice what they're doing or over the way they fight with them over the way they run this country. I agree, Waldorf wafer. I totally agree with that. Um, I've mentioned many times I can't stand Republican politicians and I can't stand Democratic politicians. We have to pick one or the other, and it's just stupid. I mean, you're right. We're sitting here fighting amongst ourselves over the politicization of an assassination instead of saying what's really going on here. You know, it's always that way. Always will be as long as the two-party system exists. And we're ruled by corporatocracies and oligarchies. The millionaires and billionaires and companies run this country. Cinderelli says exactly what he said. I'm assuming you're talking about Breakman, Cinderelli. 100% agree with your politics. I only know two people now besides myself that have these views. Thank you, MLH. Yeah, my political views are I'm always for the people. Always for the people, Cinderelli. I will never take a politician's word for anything because you can't trust them at their word. None of them. None of them. You cannot trust any of them. From Trump to Schumer to anybody in the House, anybody, the vice president. You cannot trust any of them because all they are concerned with is the amount of money that's being poured into their pockets. And until that changes, nothing will change in this country. It will be our ruin. I assure you. McGrew says, glad you're still out there fighting the good fight. I'm studying civil rights law, so I've been very busy, but so glad you're doing good work. Thank you, McGrew. I think I remember you, McGrew. So thank you for coming on back. Appreciate you, and I'm happy to hear that you're studying civil rights law. I think that's super important. Laura Vladi, I mentioned, made a comment. This is a comment that I want to talk about here a little bit. Maybe you could get someone to help you with editing the old DT episodes. I'd definitely be binge rewatching them. I have a bigger project right now, Lottie, that I'm working on. I think it's going to be a game changer, but I don't want to tell you anything about it, anything anything to do with it until it's all done. It's a huge project I'm working on, but I will bring back the old episodes of DT at some point. I assure you. I promise you they all will be back. Big Chief in the house. What's up, Hefe? I can't stand any politicians. Nothing but con artists and crooks, freedom nuts. Yeah. Yeah, Pallone, I got that link, buddy. Uh, Thank you, Pallone, for that link. I got you. I've seen multiple angles. Politicians are two sides of the same coin, Nana says. I agree. Whoever raises the most money gets the seat. And that's not how it should be, Becky. That's a huge issue in this country. Let's see if we got any held for review comments. I highly doubt it. It's pretty tame when it comes to comments. Let's see. Nope, nothing. Let's see if I got any mentions. Paige mentioned me. Let's view the post. Cops aren't supposed to kill guilty people either. I agree, blank page. Thank you for that. Riddle mentioned me on the mic check lollipop video, which I thought was hilarious. I thought that video was actually really, really well done, Riddle. Good job. Um, yeah, I'm not listening to that nonsense about King Bluto. And then also Riddle. Let me view the post here. Backup. Oh, my backup channel. Thanks, Riddle, for telling everybody about my backup channel, RP Grinders. Make sure you sub up to that. And then Hellgear. Uh, you guys want to listen to this? This is something I said about Man Bear Pig. Let's listen in. It's at the expense of either black people or gay people or Hispanic people. I mean, pick it. I mean, he's a walking encyclopedia of misinformation and of. Did you hear that? He's a walking. That's Man Bear Pig in a nutshell. Hey Anna, thank you for the 5 gifted. I really, really appreciate that. If you got a gifted membership, a gifted Monster Squad membership from Anna, make sure you say thank you. Uh, Thank you, Anna. I mean, that means a lot. It really does. Carrie Ann says politics are about where the power is should be. You're doing politics when you say you're for the little guy. Politics aren't bad. Citizens United is. Poli sci major here, so biased. Um, it is bad when the corruption seeps deep, Carrie Ann. Politics are inherently evil by nature, going all the way back to the Plato days. They pit one team of people against another. And the way that this country is structured in particular, based on capitalism, whoever has the most money usually wins. You see what I'm saying? So, and I used to be a political sci major as well, Carrie Ann. So, um, I hear you, and I'm sure we could have a huge philosophical debate on politics in general. But I mean, at the base of it, it's a clash of ideas and ideals, and one side always thinks that they're superior to another. And when you get that, you get a lot of tribalism, and you know, tribalism leads to, well, things of like what happened this week. You know, my politics are better, my ideas are better, my ideals are better. You know, I agree. Parliamentary system is, um, you know, um, inherently better. Carrie Ann. I mean, it still has inherent problems, but um, New Name says, MLH, have you seen the protests happening in London today? I have not, New Name. I don't always keep up with everything going on in the world, although I like to. I mean, I don't trust the American media to ever cover anything in a great fashion. That's another huge issue, but it ties into the corporatocracy that we have here in the oligarchy. The oligarchies and um, the oligarchs and the corporations own the media, and so you're only going to see what they want you to see and hear. What is going on in London? New Name, let me know. We got some time here. We're talking. All right, let me finish up here. I think we're good there. Okay, we are good. Let me stop this screen here. Talk to you guys directly. Um, so let's really quickly talk about the week that was. I don't want to dwell on it too much because every week presents new challenges and new opportunities as well. So I'm just man, I'm so happy. OG Pallone got a membership. Take advantage of those emojis, Pallone, while you can. Just Peeking got a membership. Well, welcome on in. My idea is better than your idea. Let's vote on it. Here, I'll throw you this money if you agree with me. That's politics in a nutshell. That's a huge issue. Citizens United needs to be overturned for sure. I don't think corporations should be allowed to donate to any politician at all, ever, for any reason. I think it should be all about the people. I think campaigns should be purely based on people's money, and there should be a cap to that, whatever cap that is, if it's 500, 1,000, whatever. No one person should have any more influence than any other, right? So, Joe Blow on the street is just as valuable in that manner as Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or any number of billionaires that can pour literally millions of dollars into campaigns. Elon Musk is probably one of the sole reasons that Donald Trump was afforded a second term, as vile and wretched as that pig is. And for those wondering in the back, I don't care for any politician. So I hated Biden's presidency. So calling a spade here, they're all pigs. They're all pigs sucking out the big pig, which is the government, right? The max a person can donate to a party in Canada is 1750 per year. I think that's good, Anna. But are there? I don't know Canada's system nearly as well as I know the United States system. Are corporations allowed to donate or throw in dark money or any shape, form, or fashion influence elections? Because um, that shapes things. If corporations are able to donate in different ways, then then we have an issue. I wish I could send photos in chat, as it is to do with illegal immigration, most on boats from France. People upset because they get everything for free and stay in 4-star hotels on taxpayer money. Well, I'm just going to talk from the American perspective here. Hold on one second. Uh, I don't think that anybody is illegal. New name, and I understand the frustration with people getting benefits with no social security numbers in this country. But how about we take a different tact? If you don't have a criminal record, right? Because that's what the Republicans were up in arms about all the Mexicans coming in that were rapists and murderers and all kinds of stuff, which was absolutely categorically false. The number of criminals that are illegal are minute in comparison to the people that actually want to work. My dad, when he came over here decades ago, was a quote unquote illegal, and he worked his tail off in construction and foundry work and worked very hard. And this is typical. It's not against the norm, all right? No corporations cannot donate and can't. Well, that's fantastic, Anna. That's probably why your elections are a little bit better than here. But I know you guys still have inherent problems up in Canada, but they're nowhere near the corruption that belies our political system here in the United States. It's a model for the rest of the world, Anna, for sure. Especially your healthcare system. Holy shit, man. Um, let's see. They're not originally from France, are meant to seek asylum, but come here for the benefits. I understand that, and it is frustrating as a taxpayer to have the government, you know, uh, put up, you know, billions of dollars to house people, but people are people, right? And people in general are good. You have the outliers. I'm not going to say that every Mexican that comes to this country is a saint, you know. Just like people that go into your country, new name. I'm sure there are wretched people that enter your country, but are we supposed to assume that everybody is that way? Everybody is, you know, um, yeah. And here's another little fact about the United States that people miss. It's been very recent, probably within the last 5 years, but there are more people going out of this country than are coming in. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Our healthcare system is broken victim. I agree, Marth. I totally agree. Lindsay says they are just as disgusting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. What if we had a system where, if people wanted to come here, I mean, heaven knows we have plenty of room in this country. We're only what, 650 million people in a huge country that is vast, full of, you know, growth potential. I've driven, you know, a lot of parts of this country, and there are vast spaces where nothing's going on, you know. So, I mean, it's not a question about room. We have plenty of room. Look at China. China's population is, I think, over 1 billion, and their landmass is, you know, comparable, if not quite smaller than the United States. I'm in Canada, MLH, and healthcare is broken, not talking about the US. Well, Marth, let me tell you something. Canada's healthcare system is a million times better than the United States, Marth. I would much prefer your guys' healthcare system than mine. You know why, Marth? Because I wouldn't go bankrupt because I got a broken arm in your country, right? That is super appealing to me. I don't think anybody should go bankrupt because they get brain cancer or any form of cancer, right? I can't remember who it was, but they said my husband had a brain disorder that required, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical care that I would have never been able to, uh, you know, pay. Here, she would have been broke. New Name says you are correct. Seeking asylum is not inherently illegal. You're supposed to seek refuge in your first safe port. It's illegal because they hop through multiple safe havens specifically to get UK benefits. Well, are most of these people awful people, New Name, or are they well intentioned and want to work? Because from my experiences here in the United States, most Mexicans, I would say the vast majority, want to work. In this country, you can't go to a hotel or a fast food restaurant and not see somebody of Hispanic uh, descent working their ass off. Here, there's no doctors to see. Well, that's a different issue, Marth. You know what I'm saying? I kind of agree. I'd rather be ignored and gaslit into insanity than do it in debt. Well, there you go. I I I mean, Lindsay, You get a broken leg here and you don't have insurance. What's going to happen there? You're going to go bankrupt. You're going to be in debt. Plus, it's insane. You know what really is insanity, Lindsay? Is being tied to any one job because of healthcare. So, in other words, your corporations or the corporations here in the United States control you at every turn. They control your rate of pay, which is way too low. They control your health care because you're stuck. If I leave this job, oh shit, now I get Cobra and I get to pay $1,400 for 3 months of health insurance. It's not fair. It's not fair. Have you heard of rape gangs in the UK? Well, I mean, crime is crime, new name. If you do the crime, do the time. I'm all for that. Put them in jail, deport, whatever you need to do if you do crimes. All right, somebody get rid of that piece of shit. Views are not down. Views are not down here. Um, Matter of fact, they keep going up, especially with idiots like you. Hold on a second. I'm pretty sure Fuzz is on it, but I'm just gonna take a gander. Just gonna take a gander real quick. Just Yep. Yep. That's why this is a great channel to come to, y'all. Hold on. There we go. Um, no, I've got no problem putting people in jail for committing crimes. But it's not, I mean, I don't know the UK's situation, new name. Are you trusting your media over there? Do you trust your media? You know, that's the thing. Scott the microphone deep throat god. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Oh boy, man. I saw that video. Deep throat. Point is, although most people are there because of illegal migration, the actual protest is a free speech rally. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You know, seems like the UK has taken a lot of cues from the United States. Cinderella, welcome. Nice to have you here. Hmm. Don't trust any media. I'm in agreement, Freedom Nuts. You know who you trust? People like me who are on the ground, boots on the ground, who bring the straight facts to you. When something goes on in the streets of Denver and I'm there, whether it's a protest or a cop watch or anything else I'm doing, you know, camera don't lie. Yeah, against the mainstream media. Media used to be a trusted source when it was ABC, NBC, and CBS, right? Here in the United States. They just spit straight facts at you. And now it's become opinionated. And any voice of dissent, whether it's right, left, whatever the fuck you want to call it, those people are quickly jettisoned because we can't rock this corporate boat we're on, right? We can't we can't disturb our money. Our money is, you know, our money is at stake here. And there's literally billions of dollars at stake. Literally. Yes, I agree, Freedom Nuts. Propaganda. On the right and left, by the way. It's not a right and left thing. Look at all the major quote unquote news outlets here. Fox News in quotes, NBC in quotes, MSNBC in quotes. The government in the UK is left, is it? I heard it was right leaning, new name. I hate the term right and left because both sides are corrupt if you're talking politicians. I'm not talking about the people. The people in the UK are lovely. The people in the United States are lovely, right? We have people in this chat on both sides of the aisle. How is it that we can all get along in this chat? You know what the real reason is because we're all very similar, right? That comment earlier about division is 100% on point. The media wants you to believe that we're so different that we have to be fighting each other, right? The news is completely different from the information disseminated by media companies. 100% fuzzy. I'll give you guys an example, a local example here in Denver with the Rajon murder, which is what it was, execution, if you will. The media showed you about 10 seconds of a clip of Rajon coming towards an officer, and everybody locally was like, oh, well, look, I mean, the officer was in danger. The officer was in danger. Look, everybody. This black man was coming towards this white man, and he was gonna. His intentions were awful, right? Meanwhile, you didn't see the video where they had a skirmish, right? And to be completely transparent, Rajon did have a gun, but threw it. So at the time of all this stuff going on, he was completely unarmed. No, Lindsay, you didn't say anything wrong. Nobody, look, this chat here, this is what I'm saying. Everybody here gets along, even though we have different political views, we have different ideas. My view's different from Freedom Nuts, from New Name, from Cinderella, from everybody in here. Everybody has their own idea, right, of how things should be done. OG Pallone. No, nothing is wrong, Lindsay. That was if you're there was an idiot earlier in chat. I'm sure you guys saw that was quickly jettisoned out because we have a great chat here, and people can list their ideas here. I can disagree with them, but I'm not kicking you out. I'm not belittling anybody. I'm not pissed off at anybody. You know what I'm pissed off at? I'm pissed off at the system. That's what I'm about. And New Name, you're not alone. I personally hold some left views and some right views, and certainly don't agree with everything, but I hate the extremism. You're not alone, New Name. There's a lot of people that are, you know, they're they have different views. And that's why I'm saying it. It was George Washington that said the two-party system is the death knell of a nation, right? Or something similar. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it was George Washington. Matter of fact, I think I know it was George Washington who said that. The first president of the United States. Yeah. I think that I look, there's inherent problems in this country, and I can't speak to other countries like the UK, even though I know we have a great contingent of awesome Brits in the chat. I love you guys and gals. I want to visit. I have good friends in the UK, you know. I want to visit. I want to see all you guys in the UK, you know? Yeah. OG Pallone. Pallone, you've been here from the beginning and I've been consistent throughout, man. And I agree with that statement. I hold left beliefs, right beliefs, and everywhere in between beliefs. And I hate the fact that we have to be categorized as either left or right, Democrat or Republican. Why is that? Because that's exactly what they want. Nobody wants to rock the boat, right? Because that, and I'm talking like politicians. Nobody wants to rock that boat because then their money train all goes. There's a reason why the Epstein files haven't been released, right? Democrats had plenty of opportunity to release those Epstein files. Why didn't they? The vast majority of the Republican constituents in this country want the Epstein files released, but there's a reason why they're not being released. I wonder what that is. I wonder why. I wonder why. I'm a Trump supporter and love MLH. You can do both. Well, freedom nuts. Why isn't Trump releasing those Epstein files? Ask yourself. Not. I'm not saying he's part of that whole cabal of PDF files. But I mean, he has the power. He is the most powerful man on the planet. He could release those files in 2 seconds. But there's a reason, Freedom Nuts. Whether he's involved or not, I happen to personally believe that he's involved in all that. Trump is not a saint. But I know the reason. It's because there's too many donors on that Epstein file. Whether or not Trump is involved is a whole different thing. But there are plenty of people on that list that are super powerful that neither party wants to expose because then a lot of their money goes up in flames. And it's always about money. Always about money. The more women speak out, Lindsay says, the more we won't be scared. There wouldn't be any reason for women to be. I agree, Lindsay. I totally agree. And you know, people like Man Bear Pig who hate women, you know, the more people that speak up, it's like what Dougie was saying. No longer are people afraid of Man Bear Pig, you know. No, new name. I'm not peeved in any way. You know what I'm peeved at? I love the people of this country. I've said it several times. I think the people are wonderful here in the United States. Just like in the UK, just like India, China, Japan. I think people in general are good. I know that's taboo to say that most of us are good. you know. Yeah, Pluto. All of politics, nothing but a bunch of money, bunch of bullshit. Yeah, should be about the people. I'm always about the people. Uh, I said it for a long time. I think we got to start over. We have to start over. You know, parliamentary system isn't radical. Why can't we have like multiple ideas and no party listed next to a person's name? You know? No, I look, new name. I get passionate sometimes, and I know sometimes misconstrue. But everybody here on this channel knows that this is a safe haven as long as you're following the rules, right? We have to have some rules. We can't have chaos, right? Kelly, nice to have you here. We need to get angry and uncomfortable. Absolutely, Lindsay. That's why this latest, kind of rant that I've been on this week about police and politicians and media and stuff is not it's not bullshit, you know. My belief is Congress and Senate is Congress. The list is why not released and they have all the power. No, freedom nuts. Trump definitely can release that list. He's the most powerful man in the entire world. And all he has to do is say release the files. And Congress does have the power to do the same if they can ever figure it out. But why is it that, somehow, some way, those votes get turned into, oh, well, let's table this for now, right? Because they all get money from the same donors that are on that list. All of them. I also have to come to realize that most people in chats assume I'm male based on interactions. Ah, new name. It's okay. 95% of DC is corrupt. Yeah, I think probably 100% freedom nuts. And you know how I know that? It's based on my Blue Sky profile. I have a tweet. Let me go to it right now. I'll tell you what it says. And tell me if I'm wrong. Hold on. Get to my account here. Can I sign in here? Just go on my phone. Hold on. I'll tell you what my pinned tweet is. Where's my Blue Sky? There you are. All politicians are corrupt. To think otherwise is folly. Don't believe me? Ask any of them if they would be in favor of tying their salaries to the federal minimum wage. Ask any of them. Ask any of them about that. Then explain why all his crap he tries courts are stopping. What crap? I mean, he's got the Supreme Court, he's got the House and the Senate. Freedom nuts. There's no excuses. Listen to my words, freedom nuts. And this is not a bone of contention. Just listen to me. All politicians are corrupt. All of them. They're trying to divide y'all. Stay strong, Ophelia says. I agree. The people have way more power than they know. Follow the money. Follow the money. It's always about the money. In New Zealand, Lottie says many people vote for each election independent of how they previously voted. People vote for issues, not the party. That's how it always should be. Let's vote for the issues. New Zealand's got a lot of things right, Lottie. I love New Zealand. I'm not saying New Zealand is perfect. I would be showing my man boobs. Well, feel free, Brandon's free country, supposedly. Majority leader from my state, he is 90 plus years old. He's been in the Senate for 60 years. I'm embarrassed. Lifelong politicians, another issue. Term limits, Cinderella. Term limits. No, it's okay to disagree, freedom nuts. That's the point. We can have an honest conversation, right? Just think about it though, freedom nuts. I believe all politicians are corrupt from the top down. I said it before Trump was in office, freedom nuts. They're all corrupt. The the minute you start taking money, right, to do what you're doing in politics, your influence, whether you want to realize it or not, that sweet, sweet dark money comes in, or just regular campaign money comes in, and you're immediately influenced. You mean to tell me, freedom nuts, that if Trump doesn't receive, if Trump receives $1 million from Tesla, he's not going to vote to, maybe have clean energy bills on the table? I am a free thinker, freedom nuts. I don't let any politician um, influence, whether it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Libertarian. None of them can influence me the way that I influence myself and what I see with my own eyes. Term limits, 100%. People need to realize we do not have to agree, but we have to respect everyone. I agree, Kelly. This is why my channel is a beacon for this. You guys can come here knowing that I might piss some of you off. And you guys might piss me off, right? But I'm not going to kick you out of here and tell you you're wrong completely. We can have discourse, discussion. Even if this is perfect new name. Even if a politician doesn't start out corrupt, it's the nature of the game, and that's how you get to the top in politics. 100%. And it's all about money. You might have, even a person like me, I'm not immune. If I was to get into politics, you all would be behind me because I'm not going to take, you know, any extreme view and say this is the way that it is. I'm going to say what I think and what I feel. And you guys would know it would be genuine because if you guys have been here with me for a long time. Some people have been with me from the beginning, like OG Pallone on this channel. You know, I wouldn't be immune to it. Think about it. You get into politics, you have all these great ideas, and everybody's behind you. You know, and you want to solve the healthcare problem in this country, and you have great ideas. Everybody's behind you, and then all of a sudden, you know, Aetna Healthcare, for example, is like, "Hey, MLH, here's a here's a check for $50,000." You see what I'm saying? And then it becomes 100,000. Then it becomes $1 million. I don't like the Broncos. I like the Giants. Well, Pallone, there's room on the bandwagon for you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell everyone, I support him, but I'm not in love with him or married to him. There's good and bad in everyone. Yeah, that's a fair assessment, Freedom Nuts. I don't like him for a myriad of reasons. But I don't like most politicians. Actually, I don't like any politician, Freedom Nuts. I think they're all corrupt. I've said it. Confucius says better to be pissed off than pissed on, King Bluto. Yeah. I don't like party affiliations. I don't think you should be tied to one party or the other, but the system here in the United States forces you to. In some states, you have to be affiliated with one party or the other, and you can't vote on the other person's primaries. That's insane. That's an insanity that you can't vote on any primary. You know, ranked choice voting is awesome too. How dare you, Fuzzy? 3 Super Bowls, Fuzzy. 3. He's a terrible businessman, Kelly. Terrible businessman. Every single business he's ever run, including casinos, have been bankrupt. Trump vodka, Trump steaks, Trump clothes. My grandfather was a politician, so I must disagree about his likelihood of corruption. I admit my obvious bias. Well, at least you admit your bias, Cricket Cinema. Did he ever take any dark money, Cricket Cinema? My guess is yes. He might not tell you, but my guess is yes, Cricket Cinema. And how could you not be biased one way or the other if you're taking money from a certain company or a certain person to vote one way or the other? I'm not saying your grandfather did, but I'm just saying. You see what I'm saying? Oh man. Yeah, I think both suck too, Freedom Nuts, 100%. How did he get there, Lindsay says? How did he get where? Banning congressional stock trading would be an important I agree, Adam. I don't think any politician should have any business dealings while they're in office. You know what their sole purpose should be? Working for the American people, not lining their pockets. That's all they're good for is lining their pockets. I mean, even locally here in Aurora, the mayor of Aurora is lining his pockets. I was at a town hall meeting where the meeting was about business development and land development. I was raised in South Africa, New Name says. Last election was the first since the end of apartheid where people generally didn't vote purely on alliance from apartheid era. Yeah, that's good. Hmm. Interesting stuff, isn't it? We're going to have many more discussions like this. I plan, obviously, I'm being on next week in lieu of DT being on hiatus. I'm not sure if it's going to be 1 or 2 more weeks that DT is going to be on hiatus, y'all. But one thing I do know is this guy, this Mexican long haired guy, is going to work hard for all of you. No lobbyist. I agree, Cinderella. Lobbying is bullshit. Hmm. I know one thing. I care about people in general. And I'm but one guy here in Denver, the Denver metro area, who's fighting for the people here and by extension, fighting for everybody. What's up, Flea? Hope you're doing well. I'm just on a bit of a rant. I don't know. I'm disgusted by recent events, but I'm also I'm also determined, and I ain't gonna stop. Gonna take a lot more than idle threats on the internet or, you know, or people threatening me. Nurse D says the world needs a huge revival to say, I agree. It's not about the people of this world, Nurse D. It's about the corrupt politicians that are ruining it for everyone. By the way, Kelly, if you're talking about the recent assassination attempt, it wasn't a leftist. Was not a leftist. Both sides need to stop the hate. This is what I hate about two-party system. Both parties hate each other, right? Meanwhile, the people are the ones that suffer. Both sides need to stop the hate. I've seen it from both sides, Kelly. Both sides. But mostly it's fueled by politicians. You're not talking about that. Well, both sides need to stop. Like I said, all of us are way more similar than both parties care to admit. And the politicians want to make you believe that we're different. Here I am, a product of immigration. I'm a product of immigration, everybody. Do I seem crazy? Do I seem illogical? Do I seem too extreme for anybody? I don't think so. I have a following for a reason. Fake news, I agree. Yeah, Flea says it. We got nobody working for us but you guys. I think what you mean is we don't work for anybody but you guys. Yeah. Yeah, new name says I'm also a product of immigration. What's up, Hot Mess Summer? The lovely Hot Mess Summer. Feisty Hot Mess Summer. Love it. Love that style. Summer. Yeah. We've got a lot to work on. We have too much dissension and not enough leaders, and I'm not talking about politicians. FDR started his speech to the daughters of the American Revolution, my fellow immigrants. Yeah. Immigrants are a hallmark of this country, Adam. I know for sure. The vast majority of the immigrants that come to this country are not ill intentioned. Yeah. 100% freedom nuts. That's great. Immigrants are the cornerstone of the United States. You guys are familiar with the Statue of Liberty, right? Give us your poor, your huddled masses. We are a nation of immigrants, Bluto. Proud nation of immigrants. Got to start loving each other a little bit more. Got to start giving out hugs a little bit more. This isn't a kumbaya session. Yeah, plea. Politicians don't want it that way. Politicians want us divided. That's why they say stupid things all the time on both sides. Idiots. But are they idiots? They're the ones with all the money and the power. While we wallow and suffer. I'm all about the people. That's why I tell you guys when I'm out on homeless runs, I don't give a fuck if somebody's on drugs or alcohol or anything. I'm there because I love people. My father was a Lenape Indian, and my mother was an immigrant from Ireland. Aren't most of us immigrants? 100% just peaking. Thank you for being here. It's like the Johnson Daisy ad, Adam says. Adam, you have a lot of knowledge about American history. I love it. Statue of Liberty is not what you were taught. It's an evil symbol where they buried two powerful chiefs head under foundation thinking they could control my people. Well, the the thought is there on this the Statue of Liberty, Nurse D. I'm talking about the plaque that's on that statue. I'm not talking about the statue itself. He was a wacko, Kelly, but he also was very conservative. Definitely a wacko. That we can agree on. And not a foreigner, like some people were saying. Later, Pillone. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. I got to go to you guys. Thank you all for being here. There'll be plenty more. I'm so happy to have all of you here. I really am. I couldn't be more proud of the channel and what I do here and for what I stand for. And I I think we are we are way more similar than what some people cared to admit. I have way more love for people than I have hate. Yeah, let's not forget the Minnesota legislators who were unalived. We forget about that, don't we, Adam? We got indigenous women killed on the daily. Yes, that is a problem in New Mexico, Wild Poppy. My ex used to have family in New Mexico. I bet the Dems were super relieved when all the Republicans voted against releasing the Epstein files. Oh, there's peeps from both sides on those flea. They none of them want those files released. If that was the case, Biden would have released them. Trump definitely doesn't want them released. Hey, just peeking. Thank you. I appreciate you and thank you for being a Monster Squad member. Yeah, there's a lot of inherent issues. We got to stop focusing on bullshit like every Mexican that comes to this country is a problem. And we just got to fix the actual problems. Anyways, love you guys. If you guys are suffering from your own mental health, please reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor, but I do listen. And sometimes that helps. But if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, please remember this. Somebody out there thinks you are their favorite. Hold on to that thought. Could save your life. There is a North American hotline you can dial. That number is 988, three simple digits. Call that number, you get connected to somebody immediately. If you're not in North America, type in your browser of choice mental health help, click on any of those options, and you will get connected to somebody that can help you out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'm going to be watching the Canelo fight because I happen to have Netflix tonight. So uh, I'm a sports guy. I know. But I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. See you guys probably on Monday. I think I'm going to take tomorrow off. Appreciate y'all. Later.